Hello.
Hello.
Welcome
All
to
right.
episode 8 of Between
8.
Two Beans. Yeah, I was gonna
Pretty
come up with
exciting.
something. I know, I was gonna come up with something clever, like how I could incorporate 8 with the Tuesday thing, but I don't
Well,
know.
I mean, there's how many twos? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
we'll
no,
we'll take it,
that's more than
maybe.
8. Yeah. I don't
We
know.
need Oxygen Box here for that.
Yeah. Too
He's
many
got the
twos.
clever stuff. Yeah,
I
but
think it's
yeah,
10, 8,
episode
10,
number 8.
or 10 adds up to 10. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, episode number 8. Good stuff. Um, we'll hop right into spilling the beans, but
All right.
this this is a unique spilling the beans. This one I came across. This article here on the Alexa blog is actually from Steve. I always butcher
Yeah.
his last name. Uh, Tingris or Tingaris. I'm not sure how he pronounces
I
it
think it's
exactly.
Tingerus, but I've
Tingris.
never actually talked to him directly.
So I actually have,
Oh,
and now
okay.
I'm embarrassed. Yeah, now I'm embarrassed that I didn't. It was about 2 years ago, actually
Okay.
going on 2.5 years ago. But so I recognized his name from the article and Dabble Lab specifically,
Yeah.
which kind of ties into a topic that we'll get into later. But it was nice that they kind of spotlight or gave him some spotlight um, and kind of gave his background a little bit in this article and what he's done in the voice community. Um, he's actually been involved with it since he had his first Echo in 2014.
Yeah.
So
That was
he's
amazing.
yeah, he's pretty much do we want to say grandfather? That makes him sound old, but
No,
he's been
OG.
in the
He's
game.
OG.
OG, that's right. OG. Yeah, he's been in the game for a long time. Super passionate about this platform.
Hmm.
Um,
For
he's
sure.
worked with startups in the past, and then created Dabble Lab to kind of really give a solid foundation to the voice community developers. So he
Hmm.
has a lot of tutorials and templates that you can utilize for building skills, and he's put together a pretty good collection of tools for that. He goes all the way from basic skills to in-skill purchases. He talks a little bit about audio streaming as well. So things like for podcasts or different audio interfaces with your devices. Um, I think he's. I'm looking through it again here, but he has. I want to say over 50 at this point. Let me
Wow.
find the exact number.
I believe
Yeah,
it.
to date, Dabble Lab has created over 50 templates and provided hundreds of tutorials on its YouTube channel. Um, and
That's crazy.
I've watched probably I'd say 75% of his template tutorials. Either whether or not I've used them or not, but just to see how they're done, kind of gives you that better understanding of what's capable for
Hmm.
the voice world. But I really like this. It's not so much an article as it is kind of just a spotlight or a showcase
Hmm.
on who he
Yep.
is and what he's done. But one of his, um, it's towards the bottom here. If you scroll down under developing the potential of voice assistants, it's the second paragraph here. And he worked with a
Oh,
company.
I was at the bottom.
Um, that's okay. He worked with a company in California, the city government in California, to
Hmm.
create a skill that residents can use to get answers to common questions such as when does the sweet streaker come?
Hmm.
So things like that integrate in everyday life,
Yep.
he's had a hand in. I mean, this is
That's awesome.
fantastic. Absolutely
Hmm.
fantastic. I mean, he's helped. I know he's helped myself. Um, he's helped a ton of
Me?
different developers.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
He
I'm
was
not sure how.
the only thing you could do back in 2018. 2015, 2016.
Yeah, yeah,
Besides looking at the not so great documentation, as nothing like we have today.
yeah,
Before, you really need to know how to dissect the documentation.
yeah. You were in the game before I was, so you would have more of a perspective on that. So, being that he is the one of the OGs to really grow this technology and what it's capable of, and in my opinion, really bring it mainstream. When I had a conversation with him on the phone, we had talked about what got us excited about voice and where we saw it going within the next 5 years. And some of the things that he mentioned about in skill purchases becoming bigger and some of this A/B testing that's coming down the line, those types of things were things that we talked about 2.5 years ago. So it's really neat to see his perspective and how it has actually unfolded.
Well,
Really neat. Yeah,
that's cool.
and a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Very down to earth. Doesn't like I still am kind of dumb sometimes when I use this terminology and get into it. But he never sounded like he was above you or anything. He was right there
Oh,
with you in the trenches developing. So super
nice.
good guy, super good. But I was excited to see this article and I wanted to point it out. So if you get a chance, it's definitely worth looking over some of the resources that he has. And he keeps things pretty current as well.
Yep.
And his tutorials are pretty good quality, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure.
So very, very good, uh,
I do
very
like this
good
one,
voice work.
mainly because Karthik does it.
Oh, right.
Shout out to Karthik
Yep,
for the
absolutely.
in-skill purchasing one. But
Yep.
I wanted to just more dive into it and to watch it because I'm not the best at ISPs. So if there's something a little tidbit I can learn, I'm all for it. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely.
always everything you said, I 100% agree with you. He definitely got me started in where I'm today. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Well, good.
amazing
Good.
person to do this.
hmm hmm Yeah, I agree. I think we'll probably touch upon some of his resources a little bit later in the show.
Yeah,
But that's
for
all I
sure.
had for this one. Um,
Okay.
wanna have, do you want to have some fun?
Yeah. I saw this. I actually haven't uh opened it up to see if okay. All right. All right. Uh 1 second. Let me
Yeah,
enable it.
no worries. So
Well,
we're gonna jump into Bean-boozeled, and we are going to do D&D Dungeons and Dragons trivia. So
or maybe it is D and D. It says trivia about a bunch of D words.
it could be. We don't know. We don't know. It had
All right.
so it had 4 reviews created by Critical Dice,
Yep.
and unfortunately, the reviews didn't have any comments to them. So
Oh, okay.
that's something I kind of enjoy reading through sometimes.
Yeah, I do too. So let's try it. I was not able to enable it, so I'm going to try to open
Okay,
it without enabling it, which I've done in the past.
sure.
Open D&D trivia.
Okay, here's D&D trivia.
Oh, oh,
Welcome to the D&D 5th edition trivia game by Critical Dice. 1 to 4 players can play. How many
yeah.
are playing?
2.
Player 1, give me a nickname to call you, like Crazy Cat or Rocking Robin.
Doodle doo?
Hi, Call Doodle. Welcome aboard. I hope you took the lucky feat.
Yes.
To
You may have
relax,
an advantage here, Will.
say undo. Player 2, give me a nickname to call you.
Silly Willy.
Silly Willy.
Hi, Silly Willy.
Hey,
Welcome
Action Box.
aboard. I hope
Welcome.
you took the lucky feat. Let's start. Remember to answer quickly. First to 5 points wins. To undo an answer, say undo. This first question is for Call Doodle. Category: Lore. What is not a common theory of the origin of the owlbear? Is the answer 1. Mind flayers breeding experiments. 2. A wizard did it. 3. They are naturally occurring. Or 4. They came from the Feywild.
Repeat.
Call Doodle's turn. Category: Lore.
Oh,
What is not a common theory of the
Okay.
origin of the owlbear?
not a
Is the
common
answer
theory.
1.
Okay.
Mind flayers breeding experiments. 2. A wizard did it. 3. They are naturally occurring. Or 4. They came from the Feywild.
3. Ah, come on.
You said
That's
3.
what I would have guessed.
They are naturally occurring. Oh, critical failure. The correct answer was mind flayers breeding experiments.
What? Really?
Silly Willy's turn. Category: History of the game. Which of these official D&D settings came first? Is the answer
Okay.
1. The Forgotten Realms. 2. Ravenloft. 3. Dragonlance. Or 4. Greyhawk.
Which came first?
Mm-hmm.
3.
Category:
3.
You said
1.
3.
I believe.
Dragonlance. Sorry, that's incorrect. The correct answer was Greyhawk. Call
Oh.
Doodle's turn. Category:
Okay.
Lore.
That
The
was my
Forgotten
second
Realms
guess.
are on what planet? Is the answer 1. Tyril. 2. Faerun. 3. Kryn. Or 4. A toss.
Faerun.
I didn't hear a possible answer. Please choose from 1. Tyril. 2. Faerun. 3.
2.
I didn't hear a possible answer. Please choose.
2.
You said 2. Faerun. Not quite. The correct answer was Tyril. Silly Willy's turn. Category:
We're
Lore.
doing horrible.
The Flaming Fist operates out of which city? Is the
Flaming-
answer 1. Waterdeep. 2. Daggerford. 3. Baldur's Gate. Or 4. Neverwinter.
3.
3.
Oxygen box. I would do much better about Dunkin' Donuts trivia.
Success.
Nice.
You now have 1 point. Call
Hey,
Doodle's turn.
okay.
Category: History of the game. The predecessor to D&D was called what? Is the answer 1. Mazes and Monsters.
I
2. Chain
think I
Mail.
should know this.
3. Little
Yeah.
Wolves. Or 4. Trolls and Tunnels.
1. Gosh dang it.
You
I
said
would have guessed it.
Mazes and Monsters. Not quite. The correct answer was Chain Mail. Silly Willy's turn. Category: History of the game.
That's a
All the
horrible
dice
name.
used in D&D are platonic solids except which?
Chocolate glazed.
Is the answer 1. D4. 2. D10. 3. D12. or 4. D20.
I don't even know. What was the question?
Repeat. I was talking. Sorry.
Silly Willy's turn. Category: History of the game. All the dice used in D&D are platonic solids except which? Is the
Platonic
answer
solid.
1. D4. 2. D10. 3. D12. Or
Platonic
4.
solid.
D20.
No idea.
I'll go with a D10.
2.
Category: History of the game.
2.
I don't know why.
Good job. You now have 2 points. Call Doodle's turn. Category: History of the game. Who are the co-creators of Dungeons and Dragons? Is the answer 1. Ed Greenwood and Dave Arneson. 2. Jeff Grubb and Ed Greenwood. 3. Ed Greenwood and Gary Gygax. Or 4. Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson.
4. 4.
There you go.
Critical success. You now have 1 point. Silly Willy's turn. Category: Rules. If you have resistance to fire from 2 different sources, do they stack? Is the answer 1. Yes, you take 1/4 damage. 2. No, except Earth Genasi. 3. Yes, you gain
Yeah, I
immunity.
caught that.
Or 4. No, they do not stack.
No, they don't stack.
4. 4.
Category: Rules.
4.
Great job. You now have 3 points. Call Doodle's turn. Category: Rules. Can you make a melee attack while prone? Is the answer 1. Yes, but you have disadvantage on the attack. 2. No, you must stand up and attack. 3. Yes, but only a weapon with reach. Or 4. No, it makes you look like a dork.
Yes. Number 4. 1. I don't know what's going on here. 1.
Category: Rules.
1.
I'm not sure that it's us on this one.
That's correct. You now have 2 points.
Ooh.
Silly Willy's turn. Category: Lore. How do you kill a Rakshasa for good? Is the answer 1. Use holy water and garlic. 2. Kill it while on the 9 hells. 3. It will explode if you give it an impossible task. Or 4. It cannot be killed.
4. I think. I don't know. If you know the
How do you kill a Rakshasa for good? Is the answer 1. Use holy water and garlic. 2. Kill it while on the 9 hells. 3. It will explode if you give it an impossible task. Or 4.
I'm going with 4.
Cannot be
I don't.
killed.
4.
You said 4.
I believe it's
It
2.
cannot be killed.
Or-
Sorry,
yeah, 9
that's
hells.
incorrect. The correct answer was kill it while on the 9 hells. Call Doodle's turn. Category: Lore. Shambling mounds can restore HP when hit by what kind of energy? Is the answer 1. Fire. 2. Necrotic. 3. Lightning. Or 4. Thunder.
2. 2.
Category, lore. Shambling mounds can restore
2.
Category, lore. Shambling mounds can restore HP.
2.
You said 2. Necrotic. Not quite. The correct answer was lightning. Silly Willy's turn. Category, lore. How tall is a Tarisk? Is the answer 1. 50 feet.
Oh,
2.
Tarisk.
70 feet. 3. 100 feet. Or 4. 1,000 feet.
Repeat.
it's like
Silly Willy's turn.
70-ish.
Category, lore. How tall is a Tarisk? Is the answer 1. 50 feet.
3. I'm going with 3.
70 feet. 3.
3.
Do you know this?
No.
You said 3.
Yeah.
100 feet, not
1,000
quite.
feet.
The
I
correct
guess.
answer was 50 FT. Call Doodle's turn. Category, lore. The owner of the yawning portal, Durnan, is how old? Is the answer 1. About 50. 2. About 100. 3. About 200. Or 4. About 500.
4.
That's correct. You now have 3 points. Silly Willy's turn. Category, history of the
questions are
game.
there?
What does TSR stand for?
I think it's till we get 5 points. So if you want to
Oh,
call it,
1.
Yeah.
Tactical series rules. 2. Tactical series role-playing. 3. Tactical studies
TSR.
rules. Or 4. 10 special rules.
I'm guessing 1.
1.
TSR.
You said 1. Tactical series rules.
I would say 2.
Sorry, that's incorrect. The correct answer was tactical studies rules. Call Doodle's
Tactical
turn.
studies.
Category, history of the game. What does D&D stand for? Is the answer 1. Dukes and Domains.
Yep.
2.
One.
Yep, that's it.
Dungeons and
That's it.
Dragons. 3. Dunes and Dust.
2.
Critical success. You now have 4 points.
Ooh.
Silly
I just need
Willy's
one more
turn.
point. No big deal.
Category.
Yeah.
Play to 5.
Can spells
Okay.
be cast underwater? Is the answer 1. No. You would drown. 2. Yes. You cast as normal. 3. Yes. But fire spells deal no damage. Or 4. No. Not unless you can breathe underwater.
2.
2. I think it's 3. Oh!
That's
Okay.
correct. You now have 4 points.
Nice.
Call
Oh, we
Doodle's
both
turn.
have 4.
Category. Rules. Does a rogue get sneak attack damage against undead? Is the answer 1. No, undead have resistance. 2. Yes, but only with a bludgeoning weapon. 3. Yes, sneak
Nail
attack
biter.
works against undead. Or 4.
3. Ooh.
That's correct.
There you go.
You now have 5 points. Silly Willy's turn. Category. Rules. Can you use a shield in conjunction with the mage armor spell? Is the answer 1. Only with a light shield or buckler shield. 2. Yes, mage armor spell works with a shield. Or 3. No, they do not stack.
Yes. 2. 2.
2. Tied!
Good job.
Oh, man.
You now have 5
Nice.
points.
Wow.
The results are: the players have tied with a score of 5 points. Congratulations, you are awesome.
Thank you. I know.
That was cool.
Want
That
to
was
play
cool.
again?
No.
Thank you for playing.
So not too bad. I felt like the screen, like the display was almost one behind where we were. Because if
If
we would ask it to repeat it, then it kind of showed the question. So
Yeah, it worked for like 2 or 3 questions,
yeah, yeah,
and then it stopped again, and then I had to say repeat for it to show the thing. So
yeah.
I don't know what's going on there. That makes no
Yeah,
sense. I mean,
no, and maybe that's where some
it,
of the reviews came from.
if there was like some big massive pictures or something like that,
Hmm.
uh, maybe that, but it didn't. It was just
Yeah,
text. So I don't know what's going on there.
I'm not sure.
But
I didn't think it was too
besides
bad
that,
though.
the questions were difficult enough to be a true trivia,
Yeah,
and
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
um, yeah. So I thought it was a decent trivia.
Yep, I agree. I thought it was fun. Little distraction there.
For
Um,
sure.
yeah. So let's go ahead and switch into our next segment here, and we'll kind of get back to it.
Beaningful conversation.
Yeah. So kind of tying into what we talked about with spilling the beans, we're going to talk about resources for building voice apps. So I kind of broke it down in my mind a little bit to any like tutorials that we've gone through or things that we reference occasionally, those types of things. And then we'll kind of take that a step further and maybe talk about sound libraries and any image graphic information or databases or whatever that we jump into. So I'm going to start off with the one that I used building my very first uh, skill when I got my feet wet into voice was Amazon's Cake Time. Are you familiar with this one, Will?
I am. I didn't. I never did it, but I actually watch. I remember watching you do it on stream. So
Okay, yeah, yeah. So with Cake Time, it was part of uh, just Amazon's. I think they called it the cookbook actually, or something. It was in there on their GitHub, and then what really got me was it was almost like an article at first, and it had different graphics that explained what an intent was, what an utterance was. So it kind of went through this terminology first, and then you started getting into the console. So it
okay.
wasn't as you go kind of building, but it explained it up front first, which helped.
Okay.
So that was nice. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I went through it the first time, things matched up really, really well with what was in the console.
Okay.
But I revisited it, and there are some differences now, just because
Mm-hmm.
things have updated and whatnot. But the document, I'll say, documentation in Cake Time hasn't really caught up to it yet.
Yeah.
But it was a really good resource, especially for someone starting out. Um, I I feel like it's maybe step one if you have that JavaScript foundation, because it kind of explained um, a little bit of what was going on with the JSON and stuff like that, but you still needed to have some background knowledge. But it did a good walkthrough. It held your hand pretty well. And so for people that are just getting into it, I recommend that one. I also recommend something that I did in the past too was Codecademy, and I want to check out what Oxygen Box said real quick. I think in office hours, they said they had recently updated Cake Time. Oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. I'll have to re-look at that, I guess, or look at it
Yeah.
again. That's that's good. Waiting for the release of Cake Time gluten free.
Yes. Exactly.
Nice, nice. Um, but Codecademy was another one that I used because they actually had a free course. Because Codecademy has paid courses,
Mm-hmm.
or I think they call them pro level,
Okay.
but they had a free one that actually walked you through the creation of an entire skill. And they have an interactive environment. in their kind of like CodePen, if you're familiar with CodePen, maybe.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it was kind of its own little isolated environment that you could play around in, kind of like a little sandbox. And it did the same thing, kind of broke down some of the terminology and explains a little bit of the hows and the whys. So, but again, you did need that foundation in JavaScript in order to make progress. So those are two that I had. Plus, we talked at the beginning of the show about Dabble Lab, always a good resource as well.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm kind of
The only
curious,
one
what
I
did you?
had to add to it, it's actually going off of your cake time, but it's at the pretty much it's the Alexa GitHub for the Alexa Skills Kit. But they
Okay,
have a bunch of tutorials on there as well that you can utilize. Um, I know that's my first place to go to. Um, the so I think uh, the cookbook, it has been paused
yeah, yeah,
because I
it's
saw it
been
was taken
depreciated.
down.
Hmm.
So but there is still short not really tutorials, but more um like code code chunks. It's not snippets,
Right,
code chunks.
right,
How to do
yeah,
certain things on there. There is some documentation and tell you how to or what it entails. Um,
hmm
but I think for beginners, definitely that cake time would be the first for me if I were to do it again.
yeah,
That and Dabble Lab.
yeah. I agree. I agree. Um, there are, and you have to be careful when you're YouTubing some
Hmm.
tutorials or things. This this I guess we'll call it platform, this voice technology platform, it's moving so fast. Um, so if you find resources from even 2019 anymore, sometimes they're outdated
Hmm.
based on what they're talking about, or there's just a different way of doing things now. Um, so it's always best to find the most recent resources that you can.
For sure.
Um, but I think the Alexa docs are pretty good now.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
from what you were telling me earlier, they were pretty rough around the edges earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
You
now
definitely had
they're
to
great.
uh know Morse code and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe a machine language. Um,
Oh, geez. Yeah, I mean, now I think they're easily searchable. Um, they're
yep.
pretty clear in their terminology, and then how they break down. Like, you'll have a snippet of or a blurb about what you're trying to do or what's
Mhm.
going on, and then you'll have an example code most of the time that you can kind of follow along with.
Yep.
So I think it's pretty good, and you can search through their docs pretty easily for what you're looking for. So I
And
think
I
that could be
know a
another.
lot of people uh, have in the past year have been complaining about not enough Python, but I believe they are working on stuff for Python more.
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
a huge Python developer myself, but
Mhm.
um, I'm mostly in Node. So
Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I can do some things in Python. I've played around with it. Um, and I know Cake Time uh, had a section for Python. So if you that was your avenue, you could follow it down that way. Um, but yeah, I can't really say. Yeah, I can't really say I've seen too much Python on in their documentation.
yeah.
Every once in a while, I've come across something like if using Python, do ABC real quick or something like that. But you're right. It's definitely node focused JavaScript
Hmm.
stuff.
Yep.
Um, but as far as getting that foundation, to move forward in developing a voice app or voice skill, I think YouTube's a good resource as long as you keep it recent. And like you said, the Alexa GitHub, fantastic. And the Dabble Labs, these tutorials they're kind of walking you through step by step by step. I
Yep.
think those are some of the best ways to get started. And just important to note that I think you do need a little bit of a foundation in like what we said, Python, JavaScript, Node, those types of things. Now there are no code solutions, but I don't think we'll get into those ones on this show at the moment. But
And we might have a special on them, but
I think we should. I think we
a
should.
special episode on them. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Because there's so many good ones out there. But
True.
but yeah.
So let's say we have our skill and we've got the foundation laid, and now we want to take it to the next level. So we're going to incorporate like sounds and maybe some graphics. What is your go-to for sounds?
So for me, I have mostly it's the Alexa skills kit library
Uh-huh.
that you
Yeah.
shared as well. This is my first one, and but yeah, there's so many sounds there, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You can
mean,
get
like
lost in them.
for Space Marauders, you can't hear these ones yet, but I have specific monster sounds, and probably half, if not a third, if not half of them were from that library.
Okay.
So um
Definitely a good chunk. Yeah.
but my next one would be actually uh good for multiple things, and that is the Unity Asset Store.
Okay.
um I have tons and tons of voice effects um from there, and there is some decent ones, or really good ones, and then there's mediocre ones, so you still have to
Mhm.
um go through there, but they're also paid.
Okay. Yeah.
So they're not
Yeah.
free like the Alexa sound library, but
Mhm. So for Unity, do you pay for a subscription license or do you pay per individual sound that you're using, or how does that work on Unity?
so for the most part it's pay per sound.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty because it's also something I'm going to share later.
Oh, sure.
But I have another approach to it as well that I will share
Okay.
later.
Cool. Cool. I was digging in, and my first, like yours, is the Alexa or the Amazon sounds that just
Mhm.
you can scroll through that list fairly easy. You can search it, listen to it right away, pop it right in, that kind of thing. Super simple, and that's why I like it so much. But for the sounds that I was working on another project, I wanted something extra, something a little different. So I actually
Mhm.
found Zapsplat,
Okay.
and I believe they're based in London, I think. And I pay for a subscription to that, and anything that I use falls under that subscription license thing, and I can use those sounds. But they have a
It's
lot of customized sound.
commercial license.
Right.
Okay.
Commercial license, yes. Yeah. Um, so I pay for that. But um, you can always go on. They have an active Discord community,
Oh,
and you can request sounds. So if you're
wow.
looking for, like, if you say, I'd really like this balloon popping noise, but I'd almost like it slowed down and a little bit warbly, you can request that, and somebody would pop it up there, and then you can tip them and stuff like that. So it's a
Huh.
good way to get. It's a fun community too. They have a Discord, like I said, and that's where I've spent some serious time going through sounds and things that people put up and some of their techniques on making sound. Pretty neat. But those two are pretty much my go-tos for sound effects or for getting some additional audio.
Very cool.
Um, and then the next thing I'd like to talk about real quick would be any graphics and things. Now, I haven't done too much with this, but I know you have, and I'm kind of curious to see your inner secrets here on this one.
Um, I already shared most of my secrets. It's Unity. so,
It's
so
Unity. It's Unity.
um,
Yeah.
I I mean, there's tons of other asset stores I use.
Mhm.
Like Sketch SketchUp, is it? I believe.
That sounds familiar to
Yes,
me.
SketchUp.
Okay.
No, not SketchUp. Um, it's Sketch something. I could have sworn.
Okay.
Um, or maybe it's Sketch Fab.
Okay.
No, that's not it either. I don't remember.
Is this
But
is the create or
what's that?
it's like a collection of assets, or is
Um,
it more of a creation, that tool?
yes. Uh, collection of many different assets, but you're purchasing from the uh the direct from the Sketchfab from
Sketchfab.
the artist.
Oh,
Um,
okay, that's perfect. That's perfect.
so Sketchfab, what else? Oh, ArtStation has a really great marketplace
Okay.
that you have to be careful with the ArtStation though, because a lot of it is not commercial. So you have to make sure it says commercial use,
Okay.
or you wouldn't be able to use it.
Right. Right.
But
Okay.
I
Cool.
also, once again, have another thing that I'll share later on.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. So I think that helps get everybody started a little bit as far as, where to get your foundation, and then if you're gonna bring it up a little bit using some custom sound effects and audio, and then taking it even then a step further and using visual graphics, on a display. So I think we covered our bases on that one. Not too bad. Not too bad. Anything else
What
you wanted to
did
add to the
you have
conversation?
any that you wanted to add? You
Um.
wrote Canva. I don't know what that is.
Oh, so Canva. I've used Canva, and basically what I've used images and graphics for was icon creation mostly.
Oh, okay.
Um. So the Canva is a really good um, tool for some of that, but there
Okay.
are other options out there. But I've also used the Alexa icon builder,
Yeah.
which I think the majority of people are familiar with, and that's mostly what you see when you're searching skills on
Right.
the store. So,
Mainly
but
thing
it's
I
a good tool.
use the icon builder is for ISPs because you have to have
Okay,
a icon for them for some odd reason.
really?
Um,
Okay,
yeah. So like on the skill store, they have ISPs, you'll see has ISPs, and then you can see the actual ISPs, and they'll have a little token next to them.
gotcha, gotcha.
So yeah, I'm always like, what do I have to do? I'll bring up the icon builder, slap one together quickly so I can throw it onto my ISP. I don't spend
Gotcha.
a lot of time on them, but for
Mhm,
now, mostly for my games, I always create them myself, um,
mhm.
either with game assets or like the in the game from the game. I take assets from there and then put it into the logo, or
Okay, that makes sense.
I create my own, but yeah,
Cool.
that is
All right.
a good thing. Oh,
Cool.
okay. I didn't close up. Oh, I did close out the wrong thing.
So, anything else you wanted to add to that conversation?
No, I am good.
I had pulled a bean taste test. I had driving time,
Yeah.
but would you like to? We don't have to, but would you like to talk about Space Marauders at all here instead this week?
Oh, I mean, we
It's
can
up
do
to you.
it.
I want to put you on the spot. I know, you've been putting in some effort and was wanting.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about it now
Let
or not, I'm
me
putting you on the
bring it
spot.
right up.
I'm changing the script.
Yeah, you are
So,
throwing
yeah,
at me.
yeah. We'll save driving. I think it was, what was it called? Drive time.
Time.
Yeah, driving time. We'll save that for next week. That's no problem.
Okay.
But yeah, since we talked about all this skill building, I'm excited to see how you're making out on this side of it.
Where do
And
you
while
want to
you
go holodeck?
got it.
Star Map or Med Bay?
All right. So this one I'm still kind of working on, but as you can tell, also these buttons do not look like this on
Okay.
a real device. For some odd reason, on the console here, that's how they're being displayed. None of these buttons are actually hooked up right now, but that's that. And then I'm trying to click on the video, not on
Okay.
the
Yeah.
actual.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the battle here quick. I don't remember any.
You are at
bounties.
Acrux V and the list for bounties is as follows: Psycho, very hard; Space Witch, easy; Ethereal Marauder, hard; Psycho, normal. To start a bounty, say the name and difficulty rating.
I haven't seen the Space Witch, so let's try that. It's easy though. So you just say the name of
Bringing you down to the Space Witch now. To attack, please say your attack slot, such as 1, 2, or 3.
I didn't hear if she said Space Witch or Space Watch. So this is one thing, I'm glad I'm showing it to everyone so people can see it. Is I don't know what to do with this. I have this nice transition videos, but then you have to like say 1, 2, or 3 to get to the next scene. So I'm kind of I don't know what to do there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we dragged you out of there and revived you. It costed you 300 credits. You now have 400 left. To find a new target, say bounties or holodeck.
But I should be
bringing you down to the Space Witch now. To attack, please say your attack slot, such as 1, 2, or 3. We can tell you are a Space Marauder, for you defeated them with ease this round.
Okay. So none of these buttons do anything, but these will eventually do stuff. You should be able to press these, and it would be the same thing as saying 1, 2, or 3. Then we say 2.
The Space Witch and you were too similar. That means a tie this round.
Okay. Like how she says that either. We're too similar. She says it way too fast.
Yeah, it was definitely quick. I caught that. But I could tell there was audio behind that too.
Sorry, I had trouble doing what you asked. Please try again.
So that's because it's trying to level me, and I broke it. So I haven't fixed that yet. But there's also supposed to be sounds. I don't know where they are, my sound effects. But each weapon should have their own sound effects. But they're not firing for some odd reason. Did you? It costed you. It cost you. Look at you, Oxygen Box. Nice. All right. Well, Oxygen Box, hopefully you are will be able to beta test, and so you can catch all my horrible English. But
so was there?
Yeah.
So in this screen here, was there background noise as well, like an ambient kind of?
Yeah,
thing as well?
there's a little
Okay.
there's a little sound, just a music, I guess, way in the background, and I just added it just to kind of have a game type of feel to it.
Right. That immersion.
Yeah. And then, but like I said, when whoever wins, there should be a sound effect. And then it should say who won or who won. And then at the end, when you defeat them, it should also have a sound of either you losing, like it's one of those sound effects that I got from the Alexa Sound Store or not store, library. And then
kind of like a negative type of sound.
Yeah, like pew 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 or something like that. And then, but if the monster loses, each one of them have a sound.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So they have a dying sound for each one of them.
Nice.
That's not working.
I have to agree real quick with Oxygen Box when he says looking really sharp. Absolutely. I mean, this looks nice. I mean, the graphics, the overlays that I can tell, like very clean, very good. Like the spacing looks good. It doesn't look cluttered.
Yeah. Good.
I mean, this looks nice. This is exciting. This is
so cool. A little bit about these graphics. We can go into the next thing anyways. So most of these were either made with I have a person or a character creator called Epic Character Creator, I believe it's called, which I've mentioned many times on my streams. So that's where all of these avatars are. These avatars don't mean a thing. It's just a little thing that, so like on the leaderboards, you would be able to see what your avatar is. And I'll actually have a store where you can change it, you can buy it, or like if you make it through level 5, you get a free avatar or something like that. So the avatars are just for something to help for looks and stuff like that. But then we have these boxes here. These are all the wounds that you have or they have. And the end, I have 2 intents here. The battling intent and the battle end intent. The battle end intent isn't fixed or finished yet. So it doesn't have the proper graphics to show the final X and then like you won or whatever, you know.
Right.
And then all these inventory items, I actually either bought or made myself. I don't think I made any of these right here. But from which we can go straight into the next thing because it's my
what's your bean of the week?
Bean of the week.
Nice. Look at that segue.
It's Humble Bundle. I don't know. Have I mentioned this before? Maybe I have. Or is it maybe I'm thinking of my old streams? But
you and I have talked about it before. And I'm not sure.
I don't think it's been my Bean of the week though.
No, no. We've talked about it outside of the show. Yeah.
Okay. So Humble Bundle, it started with games, but you can get so many game assets there. Right now, I'll bring it up their site. So right now, if you are a Polygon game dev, if you want to make a Polygon game or a Alexa game, here you go. You have a bunch of assets for $30. $30 gets you all the assets for the most part. Also, music creators, here you go. Or if you want to create your own music for, for your games, that's another one, great one. But there is so many great deals on here, and they come and go.
Right.
And so you just have to keep your eye on it. But I have like 2 or 3 Unity bundles from here. So that's where I've got most of my assets from, including sounds and a few of the monsters you would see in this game. Not this one, but a few of them. But yeah, so.
I'm going to have to check that out. I didn't realize that. I was only familiar with Humble Bundle when they ran some specials. Like sometimes they'll put like a 3-game pack in there, and they'll be like, pay what you want or whatever, but the extra goes to charity or something like that. Like that's what I was familiar with Humble Bundle. I did not realize they had assets like that. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, and the same thing. These assets, these bundles, each one of them go to a different charity.
Okay.
So this one goes to code.org and American Cancer Society. I don't know how much goes to them, but no matter what, any of it goes to them is outstanding.
Absolutely.
So you get a voucher in this pack. But I mean, just look at so many assets here that you could literally almost make any type of game you want with that. But it's a different type of game, so might not be what you're looking for.
Yeah, still, I mean that's an awesome resource. That's a really good bean of the week. Nice pick. Kind of blows mine out of the water now. So this is something that the kids and I have been playing with. It's a Sphero. Are you familiar with these, Will?
Oh, I think so.
Okay, it's just a robotic ball. I mean, it's a ball.
Oh,
it goes in its charger like that, and you can control it with your phone, and you can make it go around, do tricks, whatever. But it's fun because you can actually level up things. So when you first start out, you're at like level 1, and you can go slow. But as you do more tricks and missions through like the screen on the iPad that we use it with, because you like go through space and whatever and defeat things and do these missions, you unlock experience points. And then you can upgrade the Sphero ball to make it go faster or light up different colors or do different tricks or what have you. Like there's one, it'll do a disco thing, it'll like spin around. Kids love that. The dog doesn't, but it's a pretty cool little thing. This one, I think this is Sphero 2.0, so it's a little bit older.
Okay.
I actually couldn't find this model on Amazon, so that probably tells you I need a new one soon.
Oh, okay.
But it's a fun little thing.
Huh. Now that you say it, I do have a Sphero brand. I'm pretty sure it's Sphero brand BB-8.
Okay, that's what I was gonna just say too, was that they got real popular whenever they made the BB-8 model, because then
Yeah.
like it was everybody loved those.
Yep.
So that's kind of
Yeah,
what this
I
is
have one
too.
of
Yeah,
those.
yep. And I
But
guess
this
now
is
they have all
cool.
kinds
I
that you
like that.
can. Yeah, yeah, it's a neat little thing. We get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
And this
Um,
one said you can even do some code with it.
yeah, so some of the newer ones, I think you can take them apart and connect
Wow.
them to the connect the board to the computer and stuff, and program it to go up, down, right, left, right, press A, press start, whatever,
Mm.
and then throw it back in, and it'll go through the motions. So it's kind of
Oh,
a
that's
good
cool.
little learning tool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe someday I'll have to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we had a pretty good show. We started off not really spilling the beans, but really giving Dabble Lab a little bit of credit for being one of the original, what do I want to call it, forces in the voice tech world.
Yeah.
Um, Switched over, tested our knowledge. We tied. I was impressed with that tie. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, me
I
either.
thought that I I've played so many homebrewed, one shots and stuff like that. I didn't know too much about the official lore stuff, but I got some lucky guesses in there. We kind of gave a good foundation on, how to get into this whole world that we talk about on a weekly basis. Provided some pretty good resources,
Yep.
and we got to see one of my favorite things is we got to see a behind the scenes sneak peek. I've been excited for this. We talk about it all the time. I'm glad I got to kind of see it firsthand. I'm excited to see the final product.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, good stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. But there is so much more to do.
Always, there's always something. So,
But anyways, thank you everyone for watching or watching in the future. Please leave any comments below or add us at W Rungholt and
at KJEVANS Evans 2787. Yep, always up for a good conversation. And if you have any good resources for, beginners, advanced, or assets that you pull from, definitely let us know. We're always on the lookout.
exactly.
But
And then also watch my other show on Sundays at 3 p.m. if you can, Central Time. I go through 3 to 4 skills and I give them my review. I kind of get into a little technical bits about it. And yeah, if you have any skills that you would like me to review, please send me them. I would love to see them. And I believe that's it. So
sounds good.
have a good rest of your week, everyone. And see you next time.
Take care, everybody.